thank you. Call to order the special meeting and public hearing of the Zionsville Redevelopment Commission for Monday, March 15th, 2021 at 1 p.m. The special meeting will be conducted in person and virtually via Zoom as allowed by various executive orders of the Governor of Indiana, and will conduct a public hearing pursuant to IC 36-7-14 on the sale of certain real property within Creekside Corporate Park. Additional information regarding the meeting is provided in an annex published with this agenda. Thank you all for joining us. Who do we have online from the RDC? Can we see that? Okay. So we'd want to allow them to talk or move them to, and then Colleen Hiddle. Heather James is part of the legal team. Same for Roger Kilmer with the town. And I believe everyone else we can leave on standby for now. Well, Becca as well. She's with, I'm assuming the other folks, Wayne, are public at this time?
Certainly, and you can also create a moment here if they would like to have their attendance noted for the record.
Yes. So for Sally and Stan, if you'd like your attendance noted for the record, and if you have anything for the crew down the road on the agenda. You want to, all right, so Sally raised her hand, and so we'll note that and allow her to chime in when needed, right? Okay, great.
And so did Stan.
Yeah, and so did Stan, thank you. Okay, so we've, agenda item number 3, reports. Wayne, if you can give us an update.
Certainly, we do have a discussion topic for today as well, but certainly on your report is the filing of the RLL Racing Headquarters project is looking to schedule for their earthwork pre-con. That would be today, later today after this meeting. Certainly Wildwood Designs is on your schedule there related to work at their project at 180 South Main. Hotel Tango, which this group is well aware of, office, AES Restaurants, Zionsville Medical Building are all items we've talked about previously. Blackacre Brewing, I can tell you that that project continues to move forward. Certainly does intend to open in 2021 here. Certainly spring is a targeted time frame as to where that operation would look to open to the public. Other items in one of your TIP districts at 300 South, Appaloosa Crossing continues to be very busy with the Plan Commission specific to different projects that are moving through various steps with the Plan Commission. For Creekside itself, just continuing with marketing and design efforts related to different elements there. Certainly the stormwater mitigation project that we continue to monitor the opportunity and continue to talk about that with potential occupants of lots 4 and 5 as we continue to be hopeful with a sooner rather than later opportunity there. And certainly the maintenance, seasonal maintenance continues, getting ready to do a spring start on the irrigation system, and just moving through that topic. And other than that, that's all I have for the moment. Happy to take any questions.
Great. Any questions for Wayne? Colleen or Cindy, do you have any questions for Wayne in regards to the report?
Oh, thank you. Move to approve.
Thank you.
I have no questions. This is Cindy, and I second.
We do not need to approve your report, right? All right, great. Thank you, ladies. Approval and adoption of minutes from our February 22nd, 2021 regular meeting. The meeting memoranda has been distributed to the RDC members. Do you have any questions in regards, comments, or corrections in regards to the memoranda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the memoranda.
I'll move to approve the minutes from February 22nd, 2021 from our regular meeting.
With the motion. You have a second?
I'll move to accept.
Motion and a second. Thank you. Wayne, if you could do a roll call for approval of the minutes.
Certainly. Ms. Swanson,
Approved.
Mr. Ezra,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Hiddle,
Approved.
Ms. Mack.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next item is an update of our term sheet with Formation Investments LLC for Creekside Corporate Park lots 10 and 11. Wayne, can you provide an
Yeah,
update on that?
very brief update. This group continues their efforts to pursue their prospect. I would note for the conversation here, we are currently out of agreement with that organization. Certainly they're interested in an extension. Certainly that could be 30 days, 45 days. It's simply something they want to have of record, so they facilitate that legitimacy in pursuing the prospect. Certainly that's open for discussion, but they also recognize in the event that something else does come up on our radar, there's certainly the conversation to rescind that at any point in time is also an option if such an extension is granted.
Okay, great. So for just a recap for this group, we had an original agreement that we then extended until what date?
We're out of contract or out of extension. I don't remember the date. I would say it's probably about 20 days ago.
Okay.
Give or take.
Have they submitted a formal request for an extension?
They have not submitted it. It's more of a conversation right now to discuss the opportunity. If it is favorable, they'll certainly submit documentation and you can vet that. The conversation later today might be to cancel your March 22nd meeting, but certainly if this group's agreeable, deal with that in April.
Sure. I think my preference would be a formal request from Formation Investments LLC for the extension of their period of time to vet through their project through a defined date. And if agreeable to our RDC, I'd like to ask that we take a motion for either myself or Kent to execute that extension of time so they don't have to wait until a future RDC date, depending on what the request is, 45 days or maybe 60 days from their expiration date. Brian, does that work?
Yes.
What was their original length of term?
I believe it was 60 days
Okay.
for that original term. It was something that the RDC wanted to hold tighter, and then there was an additional bump of another 30 if that so chose
Correct.
to move through that.
So they've exercised the additional time extension and are asking or inquiring on some additional. But does that format work, Brian, for an official request?
Yeah, again, the only real binding portion of the agreement is the exclusivity. And you reserve all your rights and powers to review and approve any sort of, project. If there are negotiations with the prospect that they are engaged with, you still would have all those rights. So it's just really an exclusivity period.
Sure. I think given the activity that we're seeing in Creekside Corporate Park right now, maybe we suggest they ask for an extension until our April meeting date. And then if that time comes and we need to provide additional time depending on activity, we can so choose to do that.
I'll give them that update.
Totally agree. So I will entertain a motion to allow myself or Kent to review a future request for time extension from Formation Investments LLC regarding slots 10 and 11.
I'll make a second.
I need first.
Oh, I thought that was, I will move.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. First and second. Thank you. Wayne, if you could do a roll call, please.
Certainly. Mr. Ezra,
Yes.
Ms. Heddle,
Yes, approved, thanks.
Ms. Madrick,
Yes.
Ms. Swanson,
Yes.
Mr. Patel.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next on our agenda is an update on the RLL development for Creekside Corporate Park lots 12, 13, and 14. Brian, if you could provide an update.
Yeah, so a lot of the RLL update, obviously we'll get to the specifics of the project plan submission during the public hearing portion of the meeting. But as everybody knows, RLL has submitted the plans that are required for 4.2 of the development agreement. And it's my understanding that they are extremely excited about moving forward, provided the project's approved today. They're definitely chomping at the bit to move forward. They've requested that if today's hearing goes well, they would like early site access in lieu of closing. It'll probably, if you would approve approve the sale today. It'll take us a week or two to close, but RLL has expressed interest in, starting as early as 2:30 this afternoon. So they're very excited about the opportunity.
Great, thank you. Any questions in regards to the development prior to our public hearing? I believe the documents that are available for the public have been distributed to the RDC. Great. Thank you, Brian, for that update. Update on Appaloosa Crossing. I believe, Matt, you'll provide an update on the bond issuance. Is that correct?
Available to you. My understanding is the term sheet is going to be.
Oh, is that Heather?
Yes.
Okay,
Can you guys hear me okay?
yes, thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, so sure, yeah, we'll let Matt provide an update on the overall status of the development, but just to give everybody an idea of where we stand with the economic development revenue bonds, we are in a good place with the term sheet, and I expect that after this meeting, we can be in a place where that term sheet is finalized and we're ready to move forward, which will give me the ability to draft all of the necessary documentation to start moving forward with public meetings. So we will have, I'm envisioning the Economic Development Commission holding a public hearing on April 26th and considering this project and recommending at that time that the town council move forward with passage of the bond ordinance. We're looking at a May 3rd meeting of the council to adopt that bond ordinance and April 26th meeting of the Redevelopment Commission to consider the resolution pledging TIF to the repayment of these bonds. So if all of that works out as planned, then we would be in a place to execute a purchase agreement on May 4th and close on May 18th.
Any questions for Heather? Okay.
Nope, I'm good.
Any questions for Matt Price with Appaloosa Crossing? Yes, sir.
I just certainly appreciate everybody working through this. This conversation has taken quite a few turns to get to this point. A good solid movement from here forward with the outreach and the potential for the bond issuance here. One of the components, of course, is the extension of sewer north of 300 South. Do we want to indicate that I've personally had conversations with them. They are supportive of that effort, and certainly we'll look to connect both the developer team and with them as to the best way to manage that site access. It's not that the developer will be performing any site work on Witham's privately owned property, but there could be interest of access for construction or temporary access for merely for safety of setting the casting, or the case may be. But regardless, very supportive efforts from all parties here, and certainly a positive reaction from Witham to the opportunity to see this all come through.
Okay. Great. And where is that sanitary sewer crossing in relation to how far east is it from 421? The reason I ask is if it's within the NDOT right of way at that intersection, you'll need to get a permit, or it'll require a Hamilton County Highway Department permit for the crossing.
So it is actually on the east side of our internal street system. So
Okay.
it's further east of the outlets and then east again past our street.
Okay, so it'd be town of Zionsville, I guess, not.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great.
And I would share that location is approximately 500 feet east, give or take, of that intersection. And currently that site is actually staked on the north side. I don't have a picture of that, but there's actually 3 green stakes set just to about where that location is going to be.
Okay, great. I just, yes, thank you. I think we're good. Okay. Do we need to take any action, Wayne, on O'Brien on the bond issues?
Heather, I don't think we need to take any action at this time. What are your
We
thoughts?
do not. We do not.
Okay, thank you, Heather.
Sure.
Matt's got a question, I think.
Come up to that mic.
It's Matt Price for Harris FLP and the developer of Appaloosa Crossing. And certainly understand the need not to take formal action. I think if we could get some, I guess, affirmation that we're in agreement on the term sheet. And the reason I ask is because Bob's in the process of making his own financing arrangements with the bank in order to provide proceeds to purchase the bond. And they're wanting to know that there is a term sheet from which they can work on their own financing as part of our diligence package for the lender.
I'll look to you, Brian.
Heather, I mean, would it be, we wouldn't be binding ourselves at this
No.
point to the financing, but some sort of aspirational motion or support?
I have no issue with overtly approving the term sheet. The term sheet makes it very clear that the incentives described in the term sheet are granted only after completing the required statutory procedures. So if you'd like to take action formally to approve the term sheet and that makes it easier for the developer team to get their financing, that's completely fine.
So, yeah, I'll move that we approve the term sheet for, let's see, for, I smell it, no, wait, or for Appaloosa Crossing. Do we need to say anything else there?
For
The term
For
sheet
the future bond.
for the future bond.
We have a motion?
I will move to accept that.
Motion and a second. Wayne, if you could do a roll call, please.
Certainly. Ms. Hiddle,
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Swanson,
Yes.
Ms. Madrick,
Yes.
Mr. Ezra,
Yes.
Mr. Patel.
Yes, motion carries 5-0. Next on our agenda is the update on the CDC membership for the two individuals that are appointed by the RDC, correct?
Yes, and those individuals are Brooks Mattice and Kara Weber, and both individuals are interested in proceeding forward as your representatives to the CDC for the 21 term.
Great. I appreciate you following up with them. Do we need to approve the two members? Go for it.
It's not going to hurt.
Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Certainly, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
formally appoint
also, I'll move that we approve both of the appointees to the CDC.
That's Brooks Mattice and Kara Weber. Have a motion?
And I will approve that motion.
Motion and a second. Wayne, if you could do a roll call, please.
Certainly. Ms. Swanson,
Yes.
Ms. Madrick,
Yes.
Mr. Ezra,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Hiddle.
Yes, thank you.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. I'd like to, next on our agenda is open the public hearing regarding the sales of lots 12, 13, and 14 in Creekside Corporate Park.
Excellent. Well, I think the key factor in any public hearing is that any member of the public that is attending the hearing that wishes to make statements for or against the project or questions with respect to the project, this is their statutory opportunity to do so. At the same time, if the RDC wants to discuss aspects of the project plan, this is also their opportunity to do that as well, although it's not required by statute.
Great, thank you. Wayne, is there anyone within the public that would like to provide comment? I know we had two individuals that had raised their hands. I don't know for what topic though.
Certainly, if the IT support, let us know.
This is Stan Evans. I will not make any comments on this.
Okay, thank you, Stan. Okay, any questions from the members of the RDC? Hearing none.
Wait, do we need to approve it?
Yeah, the development agreement, I mean, the development agreement requires the RDC formally approve the project plan submittal, so it would be a good idea to do it now on the record.
During the public hearing?
Yeah, you can, or it's you can do it now.
Okay.
All right, so I'll move that we approve the sale of lots 12, 13, and 14 in Creekside to the RLL Development.
I will make that, support that motion.
Great. We have a motion and a second. Any questions from the RDC? Wayne, if you could do a roll call.
Certainly. Ms. Madrick,
Yes.
Mr. Ezra,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes.
Ms. Hiddle,
yes,
Ms. Swanson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
So, yeah, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We'll now close the public hearing.
Also, for the record, that is the last discretionary precondition with respect to performing the project or the development agreement and conveying the property to the to RLL per the terms of the agreement.
Great, thank you. Do we need to address pre-construction activities, Wayne?
Certainly with the group moving forward today, there's a pre-con at 2:30 to talk about next steps. Certainly the access agreement is a part of the conversation here to issue that document in advance of any real estate closing, simply in pure reaction to the team moving forward as quickly as they are. Certainly very supportive of that action. I don't know if Mr. Chris thinks that's something that needs to be acted upon separately, and certainly if there's any identification of any numerical resolution numbers or anything like that, we can talk about that now as well.
Yeah, and so we've prepared a formal written resolution that approves the project plans and acknowledges that the preconditions under the project agreement for the conveyance of the property have been satisfied. So you could also, if you would like, you can take a formal vote on that resolution as well.
Do we know what the resolution, is there a resolution number or anything like that?
It will be resolution number 1, and I can give you a recap of what's in it. And so the resolution, it sets the record of the previous decisions that have been made, including the decision that's been made today, and which portions of the statute your decisions have triggered compliance.
Brian, does it give them the early access that they're looking for too?
Early access is going to be separate. The
Okay.
resolution is simply to memorialize the fact that the preconditions to the transfer of the sale, both in terms of the statutory obligations of the RDC and then also the obligations that were negotiated and agreed to within the development agreement have been satisfied.
Okay.
So that is the long and the short of the resolution.
Okay, so I'll move that we approve resolution 1 of 2021 for RLL development.
I have a second.
Great, we have a motion and a second for approval of resolution 21-01. Any questions from the RDC? Hearing none, Wayne, if you could, a roll call, please.
Ms. Swanson,
Yes.
Ms. Madrick,
Yes.
Mr. Ezra,
Yes.
Mr. Patel,
Yes,
Ms. Hiddle.
yes,
motion carries 5-0. Thank you all. Do you have any other business for the RDC or from the public?
So wait, I think we need to approve early access, Brian?
These early access, you can formally vote on that as well. It's implicitly permitted under other agreements. It's implicitly permitted under the development agreement.
All right, so I guess we don't need it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other business I would think to talk about at this exact moment is your March 22nd regular meeting, now that you've had this very productive special meeting.
I don't believe we have any new agenda items.
I don't believe so.
Okay, so we will cancel the regular RDC meeting scheduled for March 22nd.
And we will provide that cancellation notice. Very good.
So our next meeting will be, and I don't have my calendar with me, it's April
26th? I don't know. That was a question.
26.
26th.
26.
Okay. All right. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
All right, thank you.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Good.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you. Take care.
Sandra, this was your moment to wrap the gavel.